You just have to keep taking the next step forward. And there will be signs along the way that keep showing you you're on the right path. Even though it may feel like it's a bumpy, rocky, treacherous road, as you're walking the correct path, you'll keep getting signs along the way.
Welcome to the Relaunch Podcast. And wow, I am so excited to introduce you to two powerhouse women and their story, their journey. And for many of us, when we're honest with ourselves, it's not an easy A to B type of road we take. It is circuitous. It is freaking bumpy. The school of hard knocks sometimes sets in. And when I first heard the story of these women's lives, it touched me beyond. It brought me back to my entrepreneur days where things come out of left field that can just take you down at the knees. But there is a resilience in us. There is a opportunity to experience the relaunch effect and those incredible steps to help you get through and be able to overcome and to be able to harness resilience in your life. And today I am so excited to share Jules Weldon and Stacey Pierce, known as the dynamic duo. They are founders, inventors, author, podcast hosts, and most importantly, adventure seekers. They also, which is near and dear to my heart, love the fur friends out there, all you dog lovers. And in 2020, they launched their fabulous company, OME Gear, and that OME stands for Oceans, Mountains, and Earth. And their journey, this journey, and I love it because it incorporates dads and moms and everybody into it and the triumphs around it. And during the early stages of building OME Gear, they faced a pivotal moment when their only remaining asset was their house. And we're going to hear what happened. But even despite the challenges, they made the bold decision that they're going to talk about. And for 2.5 years, it allowed them to make some major changes. Their dedication is evident. They've done a TEDx. They've done so many more things in addition to OME Gear. Their talk, give up your stuff, not your dream. How great is that? Give up your stuff, not your dream. So important. And their journey began when they partnered with a US manufacturer to develop a product patented originally, we're going to hear, by Jules' parents. And we're going to talk about life, about entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It is the tears, it's the cheers along the way that really make it so important. And I loved hearing this story, but also one of the things that they said, and I read, which was so darn cool, is that they believe that the journey should be just as exciting as the destination. And I got to tell you, ladies, that is something that I absolutely resonate with, because you are both like put up on that pedestal that, dang, you guys built the pedestal. So welcome to both of you. It is a pleasure to have you here, both Jules and Stace.
Thank you so much, Hilary. The pleasure is ours for sure. So thank you for that really warm introduction.
Well, let's go back here, because this relaunch story it's pretty amazing. All of the twists and turns that happened along the way. So help us get to where you are right now with the most impactful relaunch story that brought you to where you are today.
Yeah, well, when I was listening to you talk, I was like, man, I would never want to live their story. And here I am, actually the one living it. But so for us, so the really quick backstory, and I'll make it super quick, is that my mom and dad 25 years ago invented a product. It was a 2-in-1. They tried to take it to market. They couldn't figure out how. It was a lounger that flipped up into a cart. They saw a woman coming off the beach with her 3 kids, and they just said, going to the beach should never be a hard experience. And my parents were not inventors, and there was not Google then. And so everything about it made it really difficult for them to take it to market, but they did get it patented. And so fast forward, it just sat on the shelf. So fast forward 12 years later, I was working for PwC. And for some reason, the worst and the best ideas come at like 1:30 in the morning.
Isn't that the truth? Mine are more around 2:30. 2:30 to 3 o'clock. I'm brilliant.
There you go. There you go, baby. Or you're certain you're like dying and
Or I'm like, just please God, let me remember this in the morning.
That's exactly right. So, but I thought, what if I got tired of working a bunch of hours for somebody else, and I said, what if I try to take my parents' idea to market? And so I called up my dad that next morning, and he started crying. My dad is one of our heroes. He's just amazing. And he said, honey, that would be a dream come true. And those moments that you just don't ever forget. And so I remember that was etched in my mind. And so I thought, okay, I'm off to the races. He assigned the patent to me. I ended up partnering with a colleague from PwC. We sold our idea, 60% of it. It was just a concept for $500,000. And we were off to the races until we weren't. It was a partnership that was not a good one. 6 months in, Stace will always say, and now I say it, that give somebody 6 months to show you they're crazy. Because we can all pretend for a while and then our real self comes out. And so 6 months in, I realized I did not want to be in partnership with these guys. Really, ultimately, our values did not align. And we are huge value people where you have to know your values and you have to operate from your values. And so long story short, I walked away from my own company. They ended up dissolving it. And Stace and I started a consulting business called Salty Rim, where we wanted to help other, particularly women, but really anybody, navigate the pitfalls of taking, starting a business. And so we did that. And so we've helped over 100 clients, and it's been amazing. But in about 2018, we were like, gosh, nobody's taken this.
Okay, before you keep going, I've read up on you and both of your stories here. And I do have to say, you talk about that 500,000 that you got, and you gave away a lot of your company. And you also said, Stace, that you say, give someone 6 months. And that is so important. I want to highlight that for every entrepreneur that's listening right now.
Absolutely.
It's like dating. You get so excited when you first meet someone and you're like, yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. And, the crazy mind starts, like this is going to be the greatest relationship until it's not.
Yeah.
And I often say when I'm working with entrepreneurs, 90 days is the minimum. 90 days to feel each other out, to get a sense, because I have found that within the first 90 days, 90% of those advisors, those coaches, those mentors have already given you everything they have. That's it. They're tapped out after 90 days. They've given you all the goods. And so to create those relationships, to create those board members, those advisory board members too soon can be truly detrimental. So just remember what you just heard. And whether it's 90 days, 6 months, don't jump too fast. And then you also said that you both, because PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, an amazing consulting firm. Congratulations for having, that being able to be accepted in there and working there, because it truly is a powerhouse. And in our generation, when you were there, it's like, wow, really impressive. And then you decided to do something, though. You stepped back from working there. You actually took time off, and you ended up, after this situation where you had, basically walked away from the partnership, you decided to do something pretty crazy and joined a company right there in the local area. That was, I thought, really fascinating, that that's where you kind of went through, it was your own form of therapy. And you were what, cleaning shrimp? What was this? You got to tell us. This is a good one.
It's true. It actually is my most favorite part of the whole story, because she went from making, I mean, a good salary, a founder, a CEO salary, working with this manufacturer who bought 60%, and she walked away writing a 3-page resignation letter. So there were 3 pages of things that she was able to come up with to say, this is why I don't want to do business with you.
And that was for me. That was my own healing in my process. I gave it to them, but I knew they wouldn't do anything with it. But that was for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So she went and worked at the shrimp docks down in Charleston, South Carolina, in Mount Pleasant, on the with one of the most famous shrimpers, Wayne Magwood. And she just needed to heal her soul. And I worked for corporate at that time. I had a good paycheck and was able to support the family, and we were like, just go and heal your soul with the salt of the earth kind of people. And but we always joke, about 9 months in, I got tired of her smelling like shrimp coming home, so we were like, something else. And that's when we started our own coaching consulting firm, A Salty Rim. We have a salt theme in our lives. We love margaritas, but salt.
Sometime we're going to be getting together and having those margaritas, because you both, that's my favorite. That is my favorite go-to drink.
Well, our tagline is, we can help you eat your elephant with a dash of salt, one bite at a time. And we wanted it to be, because she came from PwC, I've been on the ground floor of 12 startups. My background is occupational therapy. We wanted it to be a fun consulting firm, like something that is different. And you get 2 coaches. So it's not like, you're one-on-one, and we come at things from 2 different perspectives, which is really fun. So with that, the salt is often the missing ingredient in recipes. Even in dessert, you have to have salt to enhance the flavors. And so to us, it just is a no-brainer that, coming from both of our backgrounds, that we could really help other people in their journey in the entrepreneurial world, be in service or product. So yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of the story, is that she didn't care making $10 an hour from going from a corporate position, making a really good salary, but $10 an hour delving shrimp.
So great. But then it led to, you're creating a consulting company together. And then what happened? Because this is where the story takes an interesting twist.
Yeah, so we started getting clients, and because people just started coming up to us saying, can you give us advice on either career stuff or my company or whatever? And so we were like, well, I think we have a business here. So we started that. We did that for a few years, but then we were like, this idea hasn't gone away. Nobody has stolen it, of a transforming type concept. And so Stace and I completely redesigned my mom and dad's idea, and we hired a design firm. We worked with them. Oh man, there's so many stories that we can tell you, but we ended up, that was 2018. We went into COVID. Our manufacturer.
We spent $380,000 on our design.
On the design. And so then during COVID, our manufacturer went silent on us. We think they switched to PPE. And so we had to get on every webinar we could get on to try to find a new manufacturer, because we couldn't fly over to China to meet anybody. And that's where we were producing. So we found one, as God would allow us to do, a great one. And we thought that investment money was coming in. Stace had built such a great relationship with this manufacturer. He was a Chinese Mormon, which you don't really find very often.
That's an interesting twist right there.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
He went to BYU, and he spoke perfect English. And the fun part of this story, 6 months in with him, I sent him something. We had to go, everything had to be through the mail. So we're getting prototypes through the mail. Like, I can't go over there. And he says, we're from South Carolina. He goes, are you from, and I can't speak his dialect, but he's like, are you from South Carolina? And I said, yes. He said, are you familiar with Columbia, South Carolina? I was like, yeah, actually, I lived there for 10 years. He goes, are you familiar with this restaurant called Mio's? And I was like, I ate there every Sunday. He goes, that's my family.
Oh, no way.
Talk
That's
about
cool.
a small world.
And we
Yeah.
met him through other ways, like,
Yeah.
but how it came back that he was, his family was from South Carolina.
So I think that's part of the theme is that it's just when you're called to something, you just have to keep taking the next step forward. And there will be signs along the way that keep showing you you're on the right path. Even though it may feel like it's a bumpy, rocky, treacherous road, as you're walking the correct path, you'll keep getting signs along the way. And so he sent over our first number of container loads, and we thought an investment was coming in. It didn't come in. And so he said, where's my payment? And we said, we don't have it. And he said, well, I have to send it then to a undisclosed warehouse in Utah. And so he hid our product until we could come up with the money. And so it was Christmas of 2020, and this is part of our TED Talk, but I'll never forget it. I looked at Stace and I said, how much do you believe in OME Gear? And she said, with all my heart. And I said, I think we need to sell our house. Sorry. That's our little...
Yeah, let's hold on, because that was getting a little much.
Sorry about that. Of course, he never squeaks the toy until he knows we're...
Of course. This is of course. But
yeah.
Wait, go back to the start of this where he put it in an undisclosed location in Utah. Start from there, because then the ball started to squeak.
Yeah. So he put it in an undisclosed location in Utah and said, I can't release it until you pay me. So I looked at Stace December of 2020 and I said, how much do you believe in this company? And she said, with all my heart. And I said to her through tears, I'm like, I think we need to sell our house. And like, you have to understand, our house was like, we had hosted hundreds of people in our house. We had recorded podcasts from our house. Like, our house was...
It was only 1,200 square feet. It
but
wasn't like a huge house, but it was like...
It was a huge part of who we were. And
Right,
so
I
to
get
sell it was a really big deal. So we did. We sold it. It sold within 4 days of us listing it. So then we were like, well, crap, what do we do now?
Yeah. And so... Yeah, because we didn't realize, I mean, we didn't really want to sell our house, honestly. I mean, if people asked, that's what you really wanted to know. But we had already maxed out everything, closed out all of our 401ks, everything. I mean, so it was a pretty big decision, but we did not think it all the way through. And we were like, well,
as entrepreneurs typically do.
Right. Little impulsive there. And 4 days later, your house is sold and you're like, what did we do?
Oh, and now it's worth a heck of a lot more than we sold it for, which is kind of even more gut wrenching. But we made enough money off to get our product. But so we were like, we couldn't find anything to rent in Charleston. Charleston's super expensive. And so we were like, what about us and financing an RV? Because you can get an RV a lot cheaper monthly. And then let's just hit the road and we'll wrap it in our branding. We have a rolling billboard going across the United States. And so that's what we did. So we financed an RV, and Jules and I always joke, we're like, that was never on our road map at all in our lives. Neither one of us had ever driven an RV. I don't think I've ever been in an RV.
No, it's not a normal, traditional entrepreneurial journey for sure.
No. And then we were 50. We were both, I was 49 when we hit the road, and she was 50. We're both going through full-blown menopause, like living out of one small closet. I mean, it was literally things were just stacked and stacked. And so we did take driving lessons for the RV. I never drove it. She drove it. So
now this is an interesting thing, because not only are you business partners, but you are also together as a couple.
Yeah,
and so were you married at that point?
Yeah, we were.
We got married in 2018.
Okay, so 2018. So this is really fascinating, because now you're hitting the road. I love that you wrapped the camper in this RV in your product. And I do need you to explain more about this product, because I looked it up and I'm like, we're getting 2 of these. These are the coolest thing. We do a lot of tailgating. We do a lot of, I can't say I'm a really big camper, but I think the product is insanely great. And I did try to go on and there were a couple colors and you've already sold out and I need to know when the next batch is coming in. But tell us about the product.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. We just went to the beach last weekend and I think and I know this sounds crazy with your own product, but for the first time I looked at Stace and I was like, this product is badass. Like, and I've always thought that because obviously we invented it, but I think like using it and loading up probably 100 or so pounds of stuff, I carried all of it on the Wanderer. So she didn't have to have one thing in her hands. And I literally toted 100 pounds of stuff, a full cooler, an umbrella, all that you take. And so it is a transforming concept. So it's a cart that carries up to 150 pounds of gear. The wheels on it are incredible. So they're not air filled, so they'll never go flat. And it's like a Santoprene rubber outer layer. So it's almost like when you go to the beach and you let out some air in your tires so that your tires roll easier. That's this concept. And so it'll carry 150 pounds. And then once you get there and you unload your stuff, it'll transform easily into a low beach chair, a high camping chair, a lounge chair that reclines, and a camping cot. So it's multiple things in one.
It's the coolest thing ever. And there's a great story behind it on why your dad initially decided that this is something he wanted to invent. Can you share that one?
Yeah, it's just my mom and dad were sitting on the boardwalk in Bethany Beach, Delaware, and watched a single mom coming off of the beach with her 3 kids, and they were all miserable. We all know what it's like to come off the beach, right? It's one thing to go because you're excited, but coming off is miserable. And my mom and dad just looked at each other and they said, if she had a product that she could put all the stuff on and pull with one hand, have another hand free to hold a child's hand, then that would solve her problem. And so they went up, they're not inventors, like I said, and they napkin sketched out this 2-in-1, but it was real Frankenstein. It was all big plastic, bulky, and all of that. So we've just reinvented it and made it be a 5 or 6-in-1. Because in the cot mode, if you retract the legs, so just the wheels are on the ground, you can also haul multiple kayaks, paddle boards, surfboards, deer, like if you're a hunter. So it's anything that's big and bulky, you can throw right on it with straps. A handle.
People are using.
You had me fully engaged until you said the deer, and then I'm like, oh goodness.
People are using in the equestrian world. They're using it to move around hay bales. Yeah. They'll stack a few on there, especially in that mode. We've had one guy use it on his work site because he can carry a stack of 2x4s a lot easier in one or two at a time. He can put a stack on that mode and carry them across the yard. And so it's so funny how many people have figured out ways they can use it.
Well, it's incredible. So people who are thinking like, oh, this person has everything, they don't have this. This, I don't know what to give for Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, holidays. This is so cool. And the fact that you can do so much with it. I have all of these wonky types of, chairs and equipment in my garage. And I'm like, I'm getting rid of everything and I'm getting these. And it's just, I love it. I love it. I was just like, wow. But what I really want to talk about is this resilience. The fact that you both have been working on this. You have, gotten that entrepreneurial jolt of like hope, and then the crushing blow when it comes down. How do you help people right now? Because you kept saying like, hey, how much do you believe in this? You're like 100%. I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to get an RV. We're going to do all this stuff. You believed in this so much that it was, they talk about 100% committed, right? There wasn't even that 1% that was going to give you an out. But for those listening, because there are so many highs and lows that come with entrepreneurship, what do you really when you think back, what caused you to be able to believe in this so 100% this is going to happen?
I think it's not about the product. It's not about a product for us. And when we were out, we were talking before we went on the camera about the summit we just had with our nonprofit. And somebody said it's not about that y'all built a chair, because people call us the chair girls. I don't know when we'll ever go to women. We'll always be the girls. But
I was thinking that actually when you said that. It's funny how, we're called the girls, but hey, we want to be girls right now. We're talking menopause. We're talking, come on.
That's right. But you have built a chair for people to be invited to sit in. And so it's more about a product. And that resonated with us as we're sitting over, 80 women and telling them our story. It's more than a product, and that's what keeps us going. It's about, yes, did we burn all of our ships? Did we burn the boats? Yes, we did. There was never a plan B for us. But we made that decision together. It wasn't one of us made the decision. We made that decision together. We make all of our decisions together. And to us, it was, we only make hell yes decisions. And so it's not about a product for us. Yeah, the product's cool, but there's a lot of cool products out there. It's about our mission for other entrepreneurs, other women inventors out there to say, just do it. And just take that one step at a time. And hopefully with everything we have learned along the way, Jules always puts it, we want to fill in the potholes with rocks for others coming behind us. And that's our whole mission, is to make it, our platform is not about necessarily a product. That's what keeps us taking those steps forward. And some of those steps are treacherous and hard. And sometimes we feel like we're running a marathon and they keep just pushing the finish line forward, and we're never going to get there. But we know together we can do whatever we need to get there.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that caused you to really create your foundation, Bold Sky Foundation. Can you share with us why you did it and what you're doing around it right now for the future?
Yeah, thank you for asking. This is our why. Bold Sky is our why. Because it has been, like Stacey said, such a brutal road of taking this product to market. But we're all in. And so we're like, okay, there's got to be other women out there who've experienced the same hardships that we have. So we had a dear friend, Sarah Kinsfatter Yerkes, who was a fierce advocate for women entrepreneurs. She got diagnosed 6 years ago with ovarian cancer, passed 4 years almost to the day of her diagnosis. And it was interesting. That was sort of during the same period where we were in our own wilderness with our product. But we went on a hike out in California, and it was just as Sarah was in her final days. And we had gotten a call from her husband, and we were on a hike, and I said to Stacey, I'm like, you know what? Everybody says nice things about people after they die. We don't have the chance to be with Sarah right now, but let's say out loud what we love about Sarah so that she can hear us, right, while she's still on this earth. And so we did. We were doing that, and all of a sudden, Stacey looks up and starts crying. And I was like, what are you doing? And I look up, and there are eight ram up on the hillside, like literally on the mountains that we're hiking in California, 8 of them. Now, in our 6 months in California, we'd never once seen one, let alone 8 together. And we looked it up, and the number 8 is significant, as is ram. Do a Google search on it. But it's really cool. And so we thought, that was just Sarah's way of saying, do it. Like, go, like, it's fierce, it's independence, it's women, it's climbing mountains. Rams can climb where no one else can climb, right? Or no other animal can climb through like crazy rocky mountains. And so we knew in that moment we were going to do something in Sarah's honor. And so it's evolved as we've really just sat with it into Bold Sky, which Sky are her initials. And so our whole mission is to bring in female inventors, specifically females with a product, and help them get from wherever they are to where they want to go, or at least get on the path to get there. Because so many women are like, I don't know what patent attorney to hire. I don't know what manufacturer to use. I don't know what marketing firm. I've already spent 50 grand and they've been terrible. All of that has been our experience, but we've now built a Rolodex of contacts. And so we're bringing these women in under our wing, introducing them to our network, but also once we get funded, which we're waiting on a big funding, but once we get funded, we'll invest 25, 50, 100 grand into these women to pay for services that they can't pay for, not ask for any debt, not ask for any equity in their company. Because that's what we struggled with, is everybody wanted something.
Everybody wants a piece of it, right? Everybody. And everyone's looking for, their big hits. So they take, and you're like,
yep.
You end up losing such a large chunk of your company. And that is so great that you're going to be investing in them and saying, this is not something that is it's like you're getting it, you're gifting it. And you're also not just giving them the funds, but giving them that knowledge on how to make it happen.
They'll be measured by KPIs, and the only thing that we'll ask of them is, once we help get you profitable, we want you to invest back into Bold Sky. So not to Stacey and I, but back into Bold Sky, so that we're actually now creating an engine of female inventors investing in each other. And so that's what we're really passionate about. And the reason why we haven't and won't walk away from OME Gear is because OME Gear is giving us the platform to have that influence.
Oh, you guys, ladies, I love this. And where can people find the product? Because I love that it's giving you the platform by buying the chairs, everyone, by giving this gift, which, by the way, people are going to love. You're also supporting such an incredible cause. So where can we find it?
OMEgear.com. That's our website.
And Stacey and Jules, you guys are so wonderful and have offered our audience 25% off. So for those that are like, yes, I need this right now, head there. And what was the address again? The URL, the website, what was it?
OMEgear.com.
OMEgear.com. And in checkout, put relaunch 25 and you will get 25% off. So generous. Thank you. I know everyone's going to appreciate that. And let us know, everyone, what color did you get? Thank you so much for being here. And your story is inspirational. Everyone out there from an entrepreneurial journey. I have never, in my 23 years plus working with entrepreneurs, have ever seen a true straight line of getting to have that success. Everyone will eventually have something. It's going to be either the small pebbles or those gigantic boulders. And I think that what you both have realized is that we always think like we got to go over the boulder. And what you two have done such a great job with is you went around it. You went around it, and now here you are helping others, impacting others. So thank you for your contribution. Thank you for being here today. It's been so fun having you on.
Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, you're amazing, and we love everything that you're doing. So thank you for all the goodness you're putting.
Well, everyone is listening right now. Think about what you're facing right now. What relaunch is occurring in your business? And think about what we just heard through this conversation, Jules and Stacey. And now maybe you can look at it from a different perspective. Look at it from the, entrepreneurship. It's not the short game. It is a long game. And so looking forward to next week, having you back, live now, love now, relaunch now, and know that you are supported right here in this relaunch community. Let us know what you think about this episode. Head on over to Hilary DeCesare at Instagram and connect with us, because this is what matters. What relaunch are you going through right now? Message us. Let us know. How can we support you? And Jules, Stace, thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to continuing to help you in whatever way I can to have my chairs arrive. This is so great. And take care of yourself and everything. I know you've got some relaunches going on in your own life, and my prayers are with you.
Thank you. We appreciate
Take
it.
care, everyone. We'll be back next week. If you like this video and want to get more like it, head over here.